which is mendacious in the you know that
in government it was voted in.
I give you time to speak.
No, but
can I speak, please?
I'm just throwing a word.
I'm allowing you to ask me. ZANU-PF has been stealing elections from June 2000, March 2002, March 2005.
That has been
ZANU-PF has been beating up.
That has been disproved.
Can I speak, please?
No, but you are speaking.
Can I speak?
You are speaking.
You are interfering when I'm speaking. You are interfering.
All right,
so give me a chance, then you can challenge what I would say.
But you are not coming to the point.
As we speak now, the number of polling stations that they've defined are not available. Is obliged to do is to give notification in terms of Section 24 of the Public Order Security Act, and you go away and do your rally. But the police are still living in the old time frame of the old POSA, where they have the right of saying, no, you can't go ahead with this meeting, no, you can't do toy, no, you can't transport people. So those are the problems that we're having. I can tell you now that we were trying to have a Bamba rally on Sunday, the 23rd of March 2008. We've been told that we can't use Zimbabwe grounds, and we said, fine, can we do it on Friday, can we do it on Saturday or on Monday? And we're being told you can't have that rally at Zimbabwe grounds. And you say, but where are the police getting those powers?
Yes,
so that is the problem.
Because it could be because of our logistical problems for the police. And you say the police, only this week, I think your information man came out praising the police for protecting your leader in Kwekwe when there was chaos from within your members, not from within other members. So really, I would believe, I mean, according to what we see and what we are hearing, you guys are holding rallies, and at times those rallies, that's we can cite Mutare and Kwekwe, where there have been violence, inter-party violence or intra-party violence within the MDC.
Well, it's not correct that there has been intra-party violence. There's absolutely no foundation for that. The incident that happened in Kwekwe, it was quite clear that certain persons working fully with the CIO were behind that disturbance. It is quite clear that the state, ZANU-PF, is disturbed by the response of the people to the cause of change. And of course they will try to put brakes to the train for change, but unfortunately you can't derail.
Come to the issue of the media, Mr. Biti, where you are not happy with the coverage from your statements, but here is the situation in place where guidelines and rules availed to the media by the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission are that we give free airtime to all political players that have successfully registered for the harmonized elections. Those who want to advertise, pay money to the media houses are allowed to do that. Then concerning news coverage, political parties are allowed to avail their programs, communicate with the media houses and have their coverage. Have you availed your programs nationwide as far as campaigning is concerned to the media houses, or you are communicating with them on an ad hoc basis?
Our information department is doing a fantastic job vis-a-vis communicating, particularly with you guys, the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Holdings Group, but the coverage has been selective and unequal. But you also need to look at the electronic media, the print media. The Herald in particular is doing a hatchet job for ZANU-PF. It has almost become the spokesperson of ZANU-PF. There is absolutely no compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act, which must guarantee during an election period equal coverage to all electoral players. So there's no question. There's no question.
Would you say is not being biased here, because all the independent papers, all they would pass for MDC spokespapers?
Well, I was talking,
because definitely they are campaigning for the MDC and the opposition.
I'm talking about coverage in the state media.
In the state media, he has clearly said...
I'm coming to the private media.
Right.
I'm coming to the private media. There is no question.
You can pay for your adverts anytime, and they will come out. If the MDC does not have sufficient money, maybe you can say so.
Yeah, let me tell you what the law says. The law says that during an election period, the public broadcaster is entitled to give equal time to all the major players.
Yes.
That is not happening.
No, it is.
That is not happening.
Mr. Each party is required.
Do you want me to speak?
No, but what you are saying is not correct, because we are responsible here. We have given you all the time to do manifestos. This is one of the interviews which you are not paying for, and every party is allowed to hold these interviews. And then you have inter-party discussions, which you should avail time to come. And if you don't, then don't blame those others who are ready to come.
The law says there has to be equal coverage of all electoral actors during an election period.
That equal time you're talking about, Mr. Beat, depends on the activities that you are carrying out. We can't ask you to hold a rally to provide equal time.
We have had more rallies than any other organization in Zimbabwe at the present moment. But when you do an audit of the coverage we have received, of all the players that are there, we've received the least coverage amongst all the actors, and this is fact. If
your program has not been availed to the media houses, what do they do?
They're not covering. You guys are not covering.
I'm saying if your programs, your activities have not been availed to the editors, how do they deploy the coverage teams to your activities?
I've already said that our information department is working full throttle to ensure that it is in communication with yourself. Nelson Chamisa is doing a fantastic job in ensuring that there is full communication and advice of our activities. But we are not surprised by the lack of coverage we are receiving. And as I said before, nothing will stop an idea whose hour has come, and the idea and hour of change has come in Zimbabwe.
Right.
It is inevitable.
It is surprising, Mr. Biti, you are the only one who is saying, I mean, you are not being covered, but everybody is there to see. Those who watch TV are seeing your adverts, they are seeing this interview, and we are covering. I don't know if maybe you can provide extra cameras for covering of all whatever you say activities, which we are not even doing for ZANU-PF. They are also complaining that we are not covering all their rallies, and definitely because of the positions of how we are in the provinces, we only got one team and one camera, and if there are 4 rallies, they have to cover maybe 1 or 2, including, this is the policy, including those of the opposition, and we fight them every time. I think, anyway, let's go to another question. Let's talk about the MDC's policies now.
Yes.
Right.
First, the key issue which we are running on in this campaign is, of course, the question of a people-driven constitution. This country has been vandalized by an elite who have been abusing a weak constitution that they have turned into a monster through 18 amendments from 1980 to the present day. And we are saying that the people of Zimbabwe must, as of right, have an opportunity of crafting a new constitution by themselves and for themselves. The second issue, of course, is the issue of the economy. We've experienced 11 years of negative economic decline, a situation which has not been experienced by any country other than those countries who have been in a war. We have a situation where the budget deficit is 80% of gross domestic product. That has not been heard of. We have a situation where inflation officially is 150,000%. Again, that has not been heard of. We have a situation where this country, which used to be the breadbasket of the region, is now suddenly a basket case. We can't even produce 100,000 tons of maize, and as of now, we've just bought 850,000 tons of maize from the region. That clearly is not acceptable. So the economy has to be put forward as a number one issue. We have to address the issue of jobs. We have to address the issue of the supply side of the economy. And we have to make sure that we reproduce the same growth rates that are being experienced in the region. Countries like Mozambique, Botswana, South Africa are enjoying in real terms growth rates of around 8%, 10%. So we need to revamp and rehabilitate the Zimbabwean economy.
Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, the countries that you give examples, we have never had the opposition there calling for sanctions. And in Zimbabwe, we have had the opposition MDC calling for sanctions, and they've had their ripple effects on the economy, untold suffering that Zimbabweans are experiencing. How do you respond to this?
There is a myth that you guys in ZANU-PF want to propagate, which is the myth of sanctions. They are targeted sanctions against leaders, certain leaders in this country. Those targeted sanctions apply persona. They apply as per the individual. There are no economic sanctions against Zimbabwe, which is why we're able to trade with everyone. And in fact, ironically, our biggest trading partners, even as of this day, are still those countries in the West that you guys love to vilify. It is not Britain or America which is printing money, and that money which is having the effect that it is having on our economy. It is not America or Britain that are responsible for the regime of negative interest rates that has ensured that there are absolutely no savings in this country, and we are therefore living from hand to mouth. It is not an outsider who has meant that 80% of our people are living below the poverty datum line, surviving on less than US 35 cents a day. It is not. So when you unpack the matrix of sanctions, it's a false matrix.
These are superficial and generalized statements that do not have real facts. In other words, on the question of sanctions, is it a matter of people believing their own imaginations that they are not lying?
It is you guys who believe. No. It is you guys who believe your own lies.
Because some of us see the sanctions, and if you decide as MDC not to see the sanctions and you are being accused of having called the sanctions, then we can equally say definitely you called the sanctions because you decide not to see them, or otherwise you are believing in your own lies.
Are you saying that Zimbabwe is not trading with any other country?
No, trading.
Are you saying that Zimbabwe is not importing and exporting goods to every part of the world? Economic sanctions means total isolation, which does not exist in this country. So don't confuse.
You have called for sanctions.
Don't confuse targeted sanctions against individuals who no longer can go and shop at Harrods with economic sanctions. The two are fundamentally different. And yes, we have not called for sanctions, economic sanctions against this country. We have not, and we will not. How do you call for economic sanctions in an economy that is dead, that is in the last stage of decomposition?
It did not start.
We're not crazy. Do we look like we're crazy?
It did not start as dead. MDC called for sanctions because they want to rule at any cost. And these sanctions, as we say, you don't want to see them.
There are no sanctions.
You are saying you conveniently don't want to recognize, because maybe when you call for sanctions, you have been cushioned by those. This is the accusation. MDC, here we have people accusing MDC of spearheading the Western agenda. And as a result, when the other parties call you that you are a sponsored party, you would definitely not deny when you say the sanctions are not there. When people clearly see, even Chembere Kumushai knows that, Isuma British you can't go to the World Bank. Yes, Zimbabwe cannot borrow because of the sanctions. Is it an individual sanction against Gono?
You see,
is it Kunyima Zimbabwe the World Bank Mari? Are those not part of sanctions?
When I came here, yes, I came in a car.
Yes.
That car is powered by diesel.
Yes.
That diesel is not made in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
It is made outside Zimbabwe.
Yes.
So therefore there is evidence of trade. The water that you are drinking is bottled water imported from outside Zimbabwe because there is trade in Zimbabwe.
No.
Your glasses that you have there.
That is not an issue, Mr. Bitti.
Are you going to give me a chance? Are you going to give me a chance? Are you going to give me a chance?
No,
give me a chance,
you have
please.
been talking for a long time.
You've just been speaking for the last 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yes. So even the suit you are putting on was not bought in Zimbabwe. That is evidence of trade Zimbabwe is trading with every country.
Yes, correct.
It has got trade surpluses with a few countries.
Correct.
Trade deficits with a few countries, South Africa in particular.
Correct.
With Zambia, we still have a trade surplus.
Correct.
We have just recently imported 750,000 tons of maize.
Yes.
That is happening because we are trading.
Yes.
Our biggest trading
These
partner...
people haven't called for
Can I
sanctions.
finish? Our biggest trading partner to this country, even in this very day, still remains the European Union. We are still exporting beef to the European Union. We are exporting flowers daily to the European Union. We're exporting chicken daily outside Zimbabwe. That happens because there are no sanctions. So the matrix of sanctions is fiction authored and manufactured by ZANU-PF. And people like yourself.
You have been in politics for 10 years as the MDC.
Yes, ma'am.
Why should people vote for the MDC to get into power? You are saying you are fighting for some organ that is in its final state of decomposition.
People in Zimbabwe want change, and they want change that they can trust. The MDC was not formed on a PowerPoint computer program. The MDC was not formed in a hotel somewhere where people were doing flip charts. The MDC came from the people's struggles. The struggles by the workers from 1992 onwards. The struggle by the students way back in the 80s. The struggle by women. The struggle by the constitutional movement. The struggle by churches. So people want change. People are tired of suffering. People are tired of having no water, no shoes, no education, no electricity. So people want change. So people in Zimbabwe will vote MDC on the 29th of March 2008. You made a point.
Yes.
You made a point, and the allegation you make is that the people have not been voting MDC. They've been voting ZANU-PF, which is mendacious. And you know that. You know that.
In government, it was voted
I
in.
give you time to speak.
No, but
Can I speak, please?
I'm just throwing you away.
I'm allowing you to ask me. ZANU-PF has been stealing elections from June 2000, March 2002, March 2005.
That has been,
and you know that
you know that by SADC, by everybody.
ZANU-PF has been beating
that
up.
has been disproved.
Can I speak, please?
No, but you are speaking.
Can I speak?
You are speaking.
You are
is not
interfering
correct.
when I'm speaking. You are interfering.
All right,
so
listen.
give me a chance, then you can challenge what I would have said.
But you are not coming to the point.
As we speak now, the number of polling stations that they've defined are not available. If you have got a constituency like mine, Harare East, where there are 50,000 registered voters, and you put 25 polling stations, you are going to require 55 hours to vote, assuming that one voter takes 10 minutes. We have raised those issues. They are not being addressed. And those technical issues are at the center of a free and fair election. And the contention we are making is that this country is not ready and capable of delivering a free and fair election. They were failing to conduct an election when we had 120 seats. Now there are 4 elections combined into one with 210 parliamentary seats, 60 senators, 1,900 ward elections, and one presidential election. It's a dog's breakfast.
Let's do a discussion.
Yes.
Right. You are saying those things can be addressed by ZEC if they are genuine at all, because we don't really know whether they are genuine or not.
ZEC has no capacity.
You have been only making accusations. You have made accusations against the police, but you are not even on record as having going to police. We have on record police actually preventing your leader from being beaten by his own people, and you are not talking about
CIO people.
No,
but we've covered that. We've covered that. So let's not revisit that.
You decide. Yeah, you
decide. Go into another
All right. Let's go to the other issue.
Let's go to other issues.
Yes.
We have the MDC here. In the last 10 years, what would you talk about as your successes that you want to tell the people of Zimbabwe? We are the people to vote for. To date, if we are to look at the MDC, came into existence 1999 in the middle of the park, broke into 2. We have 2 camps now, MDC Changirai, MDC Mutambara. You still want to tell the people of Zimbabwe about successes. What are those successes? The MDC has kept the flame of democracy alive. The MDC has ensured to our people that there are democratic, constitutional and peaceful means of achieving change.
And all these political parties that are sprouting, they are sprouting because the MDC has been beaten, the MDC has been tortured, the MDC has been imprisoned. So our biggest achievement has been to keep the democratic flame alive, because we've been there preaching constitutional and peaceful means of attaining democratic change. We've avoided this country, this lovely country, going into that sewage of wars and civil wars, what we saw in Rwanda in 1994, what we are seeing in northern Uganda, what we are seeing in Darfur, what we are seeing in Chad. So that has been the biggest achievement of the MDC, to keep the flame of democracy alive.
All right, Mr. Biti, we hear you on that, but if you remember very well, Mr. Biti, there were elections here for ZANU-PF to go into power, and ZANU-PF has been holding elections. MDC is not the first opposition in Zimbabwe. There have been many oppositions before MDC. Zoom was there and it campaigned. So this claim of yours to say you kept the flame of democracy running is not correct at all.
Whether you like it or
no, but it's not correct.
You spoke.
The facts
Can
are
I
there.
speak now? Can I speak now?
The facts are there.
Whether you like it or not,
yes.
Whether your bosses like it or not, the MDC is the face of change in this country. Whether you like it or not, Mugen Changira is the face of change in this country. And that change, as I said before, is inevitable.
As the Secretary General, you are perfect.
That is why
that's from the MDC point of view.
That is why I contend that the biggest thing that we've done, as a movement, as a political party, is to ensure that we do not sink into the Afro-pessimist matrix of violence and wars. We've kept the flame alive. And mark my words, come the 29th of March, come the 29th of March, our people will vote for change, and the change they can trust. We want a free and fair election on the 29th of March 2008. And we want our people to know that the 10 minutes of freedom that they've had in the ballot box, the result materializes, the result actualizes, and we don't want a stolen hope. The fact that our people are coming out in their thousands, breathing rains. I addressed a Harare in Chirez of over 20,000 people in the rain. They want change. They are sick and tired of ZANU-PF, its lies, its mendacity, its corruption. They want change, a new beginning, a restart.
Allegations that the MDC is a frontman to Western interests funded by those Western countries. What is your foreign policy in that regard, and your response to?
Well, I'm glad you call them allegations, because they are allegations. If you look at me, I don't look like a puppet of anyone, and I can assure you that I'm not a puppet of anyone. But coming to the substantive issues, it is critical. It is critical that the Zimbabwe, like any country, re-engages the international community. But that begins at home, which is why we say the first thing, as far as the supply side recovery of our economy, must be a domestic-driven economy with domestic demand. We then go to page 5 of our manifesto to say we want proper regional integration, people-centered regional integration. So we want to break down the barriers that are between South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and so forth. All these borders, we want a SADC union. And that SADC union, as a bloc, as a union, must re-engage the European Union on an equal footing, must re-engage the Americans on an equal footing, must engage the Chinese on an equal footing, must re-engage Southeast Asia on an equal footing. In short, we're saying Zimbabwe must be a member of the international community, but that begins at home, that begins with SADC, that begins with the Africa Union, and that is critical and fundamental. We are living in a globalized world, and you can't take, like Pol Pot, this country back to 1923.
What is your idea of reconciliation now, Mr. Biti?
This country will heal, but will heal after we've put the truth on the table. So, and truth and reconciliation is not vindictiveness, it's not retribution. It's just saying, guys, let's tell each other the truth. Who did what in Ngai on the 14th of December, 1985?
Yes, Mr. Biti, we've heard you, but what baffles me is this defeatist attitude by MDC, who always think elections are stolen from them when they don't campaign. The only thing they can do is maybe pour hate and what to the ruling party instead of campaigning.
If you didn't hear me well, we're going to win this election.
Well,
if you didn't hear me well, we're going to win this election. We're going to kick butt on the 29th of March 2008.
That's a defeatist attitude.
I've said elections were stolen.
And you say if they are not stolen.
Let me answer. I've said elections have been stolen, and that is not contestable. I've said this country is not ready for an election. The conditions of elections are not free and fair. Notwithstanding all those imponderables, the MDC and Morgan Changirai will win this election overwhelmingly on the 29th of March 2008. And this business stolen, of a runoff is not going to happen. We are going to win this election.
And you are never going to complain after the 29th, whatever the result, even if he doesn't agree with you, and if even if it doesn't go in your favor, like you rightly say now?
Well, if you I'm black, and you on the 29th of March, you want to tell me I'm white, I'll protest and say I'm black. So if you steal the people's vote on the 29th of March, the people have got a right to protect their vote. So don't tell me that I'm white on the 29th or on the 1st of April.
No, you said against all odds. You said against all odds.
Yes.
The MDC is
absolutely winning. Can't you feel the change? Can't you feel the mood of change?
No,
I should invite you to an MDC rally. I know you in Gweru. I know you in Gweru on yesterday.
I attended rallies. I attended your rally in Gweru as well. I did.
Those are tired rallies by geriatric. Come to a proper rally where there's
age and policy. Where there's energy. There is no correlation between age and policy.
Look, there's anyone produce better policies than these ones?
When a young man tells me to
show me a party that has produced better policies than this one.
When a young man tells me to go in the fire, I will not. And when an old man tells you not to go in the fire, it's well, when a geriatric has taken me to a situation where 80% are not working, I have to change that geriatric and the direction of the train that the geriatric will drive. Maybe it's the policy, not the persons. Thank you very much, Mr. Biti, for coming to this very exciting interview. We had Mr. Biti. He is the Secretary General of the Movement for Democratic Change and also an aspiring candidate for the Harare East constituency. Thank you for coming. Voters, the choice is yours.